A Myers hub can indeed be installed in a rigid conduit within a Class 1, Division 1 location. This is explicitly addressed within the National Electrical Code, specifically in Section 501.4 Borneo. Understanding the nuances of this code section is crucial for ensuring safe and compliant electrical installations in hazardous environments. Class 1 locations are those where flammable gases or vapors are, or may be, present in the air in quantities sufficient to produce explosive or ignitable mixtures. Division 1, within Class 1, signifies that the hazardous material is present under normal operating conditions, exists frequently because of repair or maintenance operations, or due to leakage, or might exist because of equipment breakdown or faulty operation. Therefore, any electrical equipment installed in such locations must be designed and installed to prevent ignition of the hazardous atmosphere. Myers hubs, when properly listed and installed, are suitable for use in these environments because they provide a robust, explosion-proof seal. Section 501.4 outlines the general requirements for equipment in Class 1 locations. Subsection B specifically addresses equipment protection techniques. The key is that the equipment must be approved for the specific class and division. In this case, we are focusing on explosion-proof equipment. 501.4 Born details explosion-proof equipment, often designated as explosion-proof. Explosion-proof equipment is designed to contain any explosion that may occur within its enclosure, preventing the ignition of the surrounding hazardous atmosphere. The enclosure must be strong enough to withstand the pressures generated by an internal explosion and must have flame paths that cool the escaping gases sufficiently to prevent ignition of the surrounding atmosphere. This is achieved through precisely machined surfaces and tight tolerances. 501.4 Borneo specifically addresses the use of threaded conduit systems with explosion-proof equipment. It stipulates that threaded joints must be made wrench-tight, minimizing any gaps that could compromise the explosion-proof integrity of the system. Proper thread engagement is essential. Typically, this involves a minimum of 5 full threads being engaged. The conduit and fittings used in these installations must also be listed for use in Class 1, Division 1 locations. This ensures that they possess the necessary mechanical strength and flame path characteristics to maintain the overall explosion-proof integrity of the system. A Myers hub itself must be listed for use in Class 1, Division 1 locations. This listing signifies that the hub has been tested and certified by a recognized testing laboratory to meet the stringent requirements for explosion-proof equipment. Look for markings on the hub that indicate its suitability for this application. The installation process is also critical. The hub must be properly threaded onto the conduit and tightened to the manufacturer's specifications. The mating surfaces between the hub and the enclosure to which it is attached must be clean and free from any defects that could compromise the flame path. Any damaged or corroded component should be replaced immediately. When connecting the hub to an enclosure, ensure that the enclosure is also listed for use in Class 1, Division 1 locations and that the hub is properly sized for the enclosure opening. Use a suitable thread sealant or lubricant that is compatible with the hazardous environment to ensure a tight, explosion-proof seal. Consider also the environmental factors present at the installation location. Factors such as temperature, humidity, and the presence of corrosive chemicals can affect the performance and longevity of the electrical equipment. Choose materials and coatings that are resistant to these environmental factors. Regularly inspect the installation to ensure that all components are in good condition and that there are no signs of damage or corrosion. Any repairs or replacements should be performed by qualified personnel using approved components and procedures. Furthermore, ensure that all personnel working in Class 1, Division 1 locations are properly trained in the hazards associated with these environments and the safe installation and maintenance of electrical equipment. This training should include instruction on the proper use of personal protective equipment and the emergency procedures to follow in the event of an incident. In addition to the specific requirements of Section 501.4 Borneo, other sections of the NEC may also be relevant to the installation of Myers hubs in Class 1, Division 1 locations. For example, Section 501.10 addresses wiring methods for Class 1 locations, and Section 501.15 covers sealing requirements. Proper sealing is essential to prevent the passage of flammable gases or vapors from one area to another. Seals must be installed in conduit runs at specific locations, such as where the conduit enters an explosion-proof enclosure or passes from a classified to a non-classified area. The type of sealing fitting used must be appropriate for the specific application and must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. The sealing compound used must also be compatible with the hazardous environment and must be properly mixed and applied to ensure a complete and effective seal. Section 501.10a NEC typically requires rigid metal conduit or intermediate metal conduit with threaded joints for wiring in Class 1, Division 1 locations. This requirement is intended to provide a robust and mechanically strong wiring system that can withstand the rigors of the hazardous environment. The conduit must be properly supported and secured to prevent movement or damage. All threaded joints must be made wrench tight to ensure a tight, explosion-proof connection. Section 501.15 details sealing requirements, which are crucial in preventing the propagation of explosions. Seals are required at the point where conduit enters enclosures that contain arcing, sparking, or high-temperature components. They are also needed where conduit leaves a Class 1 Division 1 location and enters an unclassified area. The purpose of these seals is to minimize the passage of flammable vapors or gases through the conduit system. When selecting a Myers hub for a Class 1 Division 1 location, it's crucial to verify its listing and suitability for the specific hazardous atmosphere present. Different hazardous materials have different ignition temperatures and explosion pressures, so the equipment must be designed to withstand these specific conditions. The listing information on the hub will typically indicate the specific hazardous materials for which it is approved. Proper grounding and bonding are also essential for electrical safety in Class 1, Division 1 locations. Grounding ensures that any fault currents are safely conducted back to the source, minimizing the risk of electric shock. Bonding ensures that all metal parts of the electrical system are at the same potential, reducing the risk of sparking. The grounding and bonding system must be designed and installed in accordance with the requirements of Article 250 of the NEC. Regular inspections and maintenance are critical for ensuring the continued safe operation of electrical equipment in Class 1, Division 1 locations. These inspections should include a visual examination of all components for signs of damage or corrosion, as well as testing of the grounding and bonding system. Any deficiencies should be promptly corrected. Keep detailed records of all inspections and maintenance activities. These records can be valuable in identifying potential problems and tracking the performance of the electrical system over time. Always consult the latest edition of the NEC and any applicable local codes and regulations before installing or maintaining electrical equipment in Class 1, Division 1 locations. These codes and regulations are constantly evolving to reflect new technologies and safety practices. Staying up to date on these requirements is essential for ensuring safe and compliant electrical installations. In summary, installing a Myers hub in a rigid conduit within a Class 1 Division 1 location is permissible under the NEC specifically addressed in Section 501.4 Bronia, provided that the hub is properly listed, installed, and maintained in accordance with the code requirements and manufacturer's instructions. Adherence to these guidelines is paramount for ensuring the safety of personnel and the integrity of the electrical system in hazardous environments.